Hey there. So today I just wanted to talk to you about my Seiko SNK803. Nothing extreme about this watch. It's pretty simple. It's a aviation style with like a field watch, army field watch case. So it kind of has a combination of two different things, but I think they go well together. And I have small wrists too, about 6.5 inches, so I wear it on the second notch on the inside there. But I do like the illumination on this. It's pretty good actually. Of my 3 watches, or of my 4 watches, 4 or 5 watches, this of 3 are up there in lume. So you can see the lume that the camera is picking up is pretty great. Of course, the second hand is opposite of the circle, and the hour markers are just as bright as the hands, which on other watches that I have, the hands are brighter than the hour markers, so they put more expensive lume, or they applied more, either more coatings, or they're wider, so they just shine bright, or shine brighter. But this one's pretty great. So it's a pretty standard lume. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's pretty good. One of the issues I have with this is that there's no 12 o'clock indicator. Meaning at night, if all you can see is the illumination, it's tricky to see where's 12 because there's not an extra big one, or there's not 2 dots up there. They're just 1, 2, 3, 4. They go all around. There's an even amount of dots on the dial, so you can't really exactly see which way's up. Another thing is, compared to this one, these numbers are so big, so it's easy to tell what time it is without bringing the watch up close, because it's just easier to look down and see what time it is. With something like this, the hands are a little smaller and the numbers are quite a lot smaller, so it's harder to tell what time it is. So when I wear this, I find myself looking a little longer, or bringing the watch up a little closer just to see what time it is, and that's not a bad thing, but that just makes this easier than this for me personally. Another thing is, this thing is pretty small, and I know if you wear it, if this is your only watch, then you wouldn't need to adjust it too much, just about as normal as every other watch, once a month when there's a date change. So it is tough to spin, and it's not tough, but it's hard to handle because it's so small, and when you pull it out, there it goes. You have to use like your fingernails to turn it. It'll turn, but it's just a little tougher. I do really like how it is not right on the end here. At the 3 o'clock, it's positioned further down than that, and that makes it like a smoother watch. There'd be less of something sticking out there, and it makes it look a little nicer, I think. Another thing about this is the applied logo. I do really like that, and it is a nice little face to look at. The chamfered averages around the date window are nice. I like how it has the line continuing through the date wheel, Wednesday and 16th, whatever the day of the week, and then the date, there's a line separating them which continues to circle around. I like that. And I like also how the little circle at the other end of the second hand is there. I think that, you know, if a second hand like this, how it's really slender, it makes it maybe a little more elegant, and I think it matches the lines and the design of the watch as it is. If they went with a fatter second hand, or, you know, maybe the circle was on that hand, maybe it wouldn't work as well as it does. This is a great little watch. I wore this around on my travels, so I got familiar with it. It was my everyday watch for about 3 weeks, so I like getting to know it, and I really do like the illumination on this, because whenever we would go through tunnels or this and that, you'd see the light from inside the tunnel, you know, the lights that they have set up, and then you'd go in between those and it'd go dark, so you'd see a cool shot of dark light of the, so you'd see kind of like pulsing illumination on the watch. So for the price, it's pretty good for an automatic movement Seiko. I mean, Seiko 5 there's so many of them. You can really pick one that you like, and they're all not gonna, they all should be either around or under $100. This one is about $55, so I think it's a great watch for people to get, because it's a good price, and it's something different. It's like an aviation watch, and there's a lot more expensive aviation watches with this same dial. There's like Orient has one, and so there's a few others, and they're all fairly nice, but this one is $55. It's a small face though. This is 18mm lugs, so I wouldn't really want to go smaller like that again. I would want to keep it at least a 20 or 21, because 18 is just, it's not bad, but it's just a little more slender than I'd like. But since the watch itself is already pretty small, it works out. Yeah. Another thing is, since it's a mechanical watch, watches can they can either be hacking or non-hacking, which means when you pull the stem out to adjust the time, sorry, my phone just vibrated, to adjust the time, the second hand will or will not stop moving. So this is a non-hacking watch or movement, because when I pulled it out and I'm moving this keeps on going, which means that you won't exactly have the most accurate time. You can't adjust it very precisely, so it is nice having it stop at it when you pull it out, and then setting the hour, and then when that time comes around you press go and it goes. So with that said, you can wind it back for some reason. I didn't know that was the thing, I guess, and then it stops and then you can go again. I don't exactly know if that's bad for the watch. I don't know if that means it's kind of hacking, but I wouldn't want to do that too much. So that is one thing to note about the watch. Yeah. And whenever I set the date, I'll adjust the day and the date for the day before, and then I'll wind it all the way through up until the next day. And you can see the date comes around 3 o'clock. There you go. It just changed to English. It's made in China, so it's not super nice. It looks pretty nice. The sides, to me, look like plasticky. Like they're painted on plastic, but it looks like leather. I don't know. And the top is leather, but I don't know how well and how thick it all really is, but it looks pretty good. I paid like 35 bucks for it, which was kind of like the most I've spent for a watch band, considering I bought a watch for $25 and $10. So this is the strap that came with it. This one was pretty fine. It was kind of quite flexible, which is nice, but these ends always split and kind of gather things, and it all frays a little bit. I think maybe you can see a little fuzzball there. So it's not the nicest, but it worked. And of course I wore it on like the smallest hole, so I had all this extra, and I always kind of hate that. So I went with the small of this one, which is just about the same size. It's a little bit shorter, just a little bit shorter than this one, and this is a small, so that's what I went with. So I kind of started wearing watches, and this was one of my first watches, which is, you know, big numbers, easy to see, black on white. And I go with this one, and the design of this is, you can see the hours on the inner circle and then the minutes on the outer circle. Another thing about this watch band I forgot to mention is the quick detach system that they have. There's a little ball and lever right there, so you can put this in and put this end in and just push this over, so you don't need a spring tool or anything. And that, I tell you, is one of the easiest and best things in a watch band. That makes a change like this really easy. But anyways, there we go. Hope that'll conclude my review. Thanks for watching. Take care.